What's up, Hoe Cakes? Too big of a bong hit. Okay. What's up, Hoe Cakes? Welcome back to another episode of Bacon and Bacon with Bacon. Today we're just making some simple shit. We're making hoagie rolls for some bomb-ass steak sammies we're gonna have later tonight for dinner. But I decided I want to make the hoagie rolls ahead of time. I don't know why I'm speaking like this. So we're gonna make some hoagie rolls. It's basically bread in the shape of a hoagie. Yeah. You can add seasonings. I was contemplating adding like some garlic powder, maybe some oregano. You can add stuff to the flour as long as it's like a spice, like a powdered spice. We're gonna start by putting hot water, 1 1/4 cup to be precise, in here. We've got warm water in this cup. Now we're going to add some sugar to that water to make it sweet water. Put the sugar in the water, and then you add the yeast. Now we're adding the yeast. The yeast is the most important part of bread. Now we're gonna let that yeast chill because it's got a proof. It's gotta kind of start eating on the sugars and get settled in. It'll start foaming at the top and then the yeast is fucking ready. We're gonna add the dry ingredients that we need to add to this bowl. We are going to add this butter. You can barely see me. I'm gonna retape that. Take 2. Suck at it. Okay, we've got our butter, our butter here, and we're gonna let this proof a little longer. We're gonna drop the butter in the water. I know it sounds weird, but it softens the butter. And then we're gonna start with like 1 1/4 cup of the flour in this bowl. And then we're gonna add the salt to that flour. And then we're gonna dump all this yeast and water and butter up in that bowl. And then we're gonna start stirring and mixing. You've seen this before. We're gonna mix until it turns into this like white sludge. And then we're going to add more flour. As soon as it starts getting doughy and pulling away from the side of the bowl, we're going to throw it in the KitchenAid mixer and let that fucking hooker on the KitchenAid mixer do its work. So we're gonna go ahead and put our butter in this water and just let it start softening up a bit. And then while we do that, we're going to bust out 1 1/4 cup of flour. Boom. Shablango, 1 1/4 cup flour in the mix. Take some of this here salt, sprinkle it around the flour, and now would be a great time to add any seasonings you might want to add, which I'm going to. I'm actually going to add, it's parsley and shallots. It's just a jar of seasonings my wife got at like TJ Maxx or some shit. Hot tip. You know, the foods that are sold in Europe that don't have all the crazy nasty garbage and chemicals in it, they don't sell in the grocery stores here. They sell at places like TJ Maxx and what's that other one? I can't remember the name of the other one. You know, the discount clothing stores. Anyway, fuck yourself. Okay, so we added a little bit of seasoning to the flour. This has been proofing for a hot minute. I think it's doing okay. We're doing all right on the proof of this, so we're gonna give it a couple more minutes, let that butter soften a little bit more, let this continue to proof a tiny bit more, and then we'll dump it in and we'll go to town. All right there, little hoe cakes. Now it's time to add this yeasty, buttery liquid to the bowl. Now we're gonna stir this around But that's pretty well mixed. So now we're just gonna add this flour, like a cup at a time, which there's only 3.5 cups or 3.25 cups, I don't remember, in this recipe for the flour. But we're just gonna add a little bit at a time until it starts turning into actual dough. See, now it looks like that. And we're just gonna keep adding. Oh, one tiny little bit left. Add this last little bit here. Shablanky. All right, we got a decent little dough form in here. Mix that in by hand just a little bit. We don't have to do too much work because the KitchenAid mixer is going to do the bulk of the work for us. That's what it should look like. Now we put the flour, now we put the bowl up. I just want some more weed. Now we put the dough bowl into the mixer. We're gonna attach this little hooker. It's not easy work being a hooker. You gotta respect that profession. We're gonna add that, and we're gonna run this bitch until it's good and kneaded, until it feels like a man. You know, we just want to feel kneaded. Just saying. We just want to feel kneaded. All right, we're going. All right, this shit is done. This dough is fitting to be made to bread, but we have to let it rise. So we're going to rinse this fucking bowl out and get it ready. We're gonna grease it down with some beef tallow, and then we're gonna get it ready to for this bowl for it to rise. It needs to rise. We got it rinsed out. So now that we got it rinsed out, we are going to put dough in it and cover it so it can rise. Beef tallow. Smells amazing. Plop. Flip it. Plop it. Damn clock. And now we chill and do absolutely fuck all for the next 30 to 45 minutes. One of my favorite parts about making bread. So we're gonna smoke a lot more weed, and then we'll see you when this is done right. We just out here feeding the fish. Come here, guys. That's Dragon. He's the biggest fish we got. But yeah, we're just out here feeding fish and enjoying the yard while we wait for this bread to rise. What's up, Hoe Cakes? Okay, it's been 45 minutes. I've got like fast-acting yeast and shit. It's not like old school traditional yeast. So mine only takes about 45 minutes. Sometimes it might take an hour, hour and a half. You're just looking for it to double in size. And it is definitely doubled in size. Would you look at that shit? Oh, it smells so fucking good. Now that that's all, now that it's all rised up, we're gonna transfer it to a cutting board, and we're gonna beat on it, and then we're gonna put it in these forms. These forms will make them the hoagie rolls. Now we're gonna cut it into thirds. About right. So it's kind of like a shaped hoagie roll. Now we're also gonna let it rise a second time. And they will definitely get bigger. And then once they've risen for a second time a little more, that's when we'll pop them in the oven. Boom, we have the tray hoagie rolls. Now, okay, now we're gonna put a damp towel over them and let them rise in a warm area for another like 20 minutes, and then we'll pop these bitches in the oven and get an egg wash going. They've risen. They look so good. They smell so good. They're gonna be fucking perfect hoagie rolls. We're gonna brush some egg wash on these motherfuckers. And then we're gonna put these motherfuckers in the oven, and they're gonna make perfect fucking steak sandwiches. All right, we're gonna make some egg wash. Super simple. You take some farm fresh eggs. You make sure that your milk is still good. Give it a sniff, smells fine. You add a splash of milk, and then we fucking whip this shit. We beat these eggs like they owe us money. Voila, like that. Then we're gonna take this egg wash and paint it right here on this beautiful dough. Now these have had an egg wash. We're gonna put these bitches in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 45 minutes. Shit. Give it a little tap. Yep. Sounds hollow. Them shits are ready. We're gonna let them cool down for a hot second. And then once they're done cooling down, we're already prepping our steak sandwich dinner night. All right, you little hoe cakes. Ignore this mushroom and onion medley that I've got going on back here. I'm making steak sandwiches with these hoagies. But here's the video, y'all. Hoagie rolls. Look at how beautiful those turned out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make these into steak sandwiches and enjoy them.
You can pause that.
So maybe some other time we'll do steak sandwiches. But for now, thank you so much for watching this episode of Bacon and Bacon with Bacon. Don't be a dickhead. Make sure you like and subscribe. And have a great fucking day.